So I'm gonna shoot this video real quick, just as a candid, frank discussion on the goings on in my life right now. It's the 9th of July 2018. It's a Monday, July 9, 2018. And my wife and I and my son, my newborn son Levi, we're getting ready to move to Mississippi. Getting ready to move to Starkville to start a new adventure. Probably the first week of August we'll be moving. Obviously we're going to be looking for a house, and I think we've got some picked out, but we're not completely sure. We're going to be going over there this coming Friday. Today's Monday. We're going to be going there this coming Friday, and hope to be able to figure that out. But I was fortunate enough to connect with Dr. Mike Brown, professor of meteorology and departmental advisor at Mississippi State in the geosciences department. And he has been such a huge blessing in my life, a big encouragement to me. I felt like in the field of meteorology, like I've pretty much been alienated by so many. In my attempt to progress forward in my career, and to link up with some folks that allow me to have a career in meteorology. So pressing forward in research, I'm continuing to research the wind field, the kinematics associated with the tornadic environment, that and the other dynamical effects within the tornadic environment, height discontinuities and salabaric flow and response and generating helicity, forcing fields for helicity, and things like that. The relation between the upper and mid-level flow, storm relative winds, storm motion, and the relationship between right-moving and non-right-moving supercells, especially in the southeastern U.S. That seems to be a great research interest. And also continuing to formulate tornado forecasting indices. We've got the vortex value. We worked a little bit on the surface tornado forecasting index, surface DEX. I've pretty much done away with that one, and am looking at other ones like the Lord forgive me, I have to think for a moment. Boy, I can't even remember the one that's currently I'm trying to recall, but it's another good one. Give me just a minute. I need to remember this. It's not coming to me. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be moving in early August, and I'll be pursuing a PhD with Dr. Mike Brown at Mississippi State, and I'm so glad to have that opportunity. Apparently the competition was very fierce for that position, and I definitely want to do well for them. Yeah, so I want to try to keep this video positive, but there's been some rough roads over the past 3 years, and here in Huntsville, and I'm just ready for a break. I need a change, and it looks like I'm going to be getting that. So thank the good Lord. Yeah, but one of the great mysteries to me is, so they say that in the southeastern severe cold environment, the southeastern cool season tornado environment, that the release of potential instability from dry air in the mid-levels is crucial. And that's pretty obvious. One thing I'm interested in is the more minute specifics, more minute details in the wind flow. I would like to know more about the relationship between storm relative winds at all levels. So we understand from Thompson, from I think, what was it, 2000, that the storm relative winds need to be anywhere between 18 and 42 knots among all levels. And so never dropping below that for any one level. And so that's important, but I think we need to also investigate as well as that, because that's crucial. You know, that step was absolutely paramount in understanding future steps, is the relationship between the storm relative inflow, storm relative flow at different levels, and how that affects the formation of mesocyclones. So I'm not going to go into details, but that's something that we should investigate, because oftentimes, you know, we think that tornado genesis, often if it fails, it's failing in the low levels. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that we can have failures all throughout in the buoyancy column, all throughout the troposphere, or even if the atmosphere is not really buoyant, that we can have wind failure modes at all levels of the troposphere. So we need to try to nail that down a little closer. You know, we need to try to get that down and understand that, and we need to try to improve on our models too. That's clear. But I think the models, to an extent, will offer potential failure modes if we'll know the minute specifics of what we need to understand. I think in meteorology we're not really sure on some of the finer details that we need to be looking for. We understand how to compute various parameters: storm relative felicity, precipitable water, all kinds of other buoyancy indices and things like this. But I just have this sneaking suspicion that there's other parameters or atmospheric variables that we need to come up with in order to better understand, or just look at the combination of the unique variables that we already have to better understand the tornado environment. I think that there's a lot more that can be gleaned from that, and I hope that we can learn more about it. But yeah, my research at Mississippi State, I really hope that that'll carry over strongly into the meteorological community, that it will give us some additional tips on things we need to be looking out for and doing. So that's my prayer, and I really hope that it works out that way, and that Levi grows up in a kind, loving home, and that Destiny and I are able to break away from some of the things that have the negative influences in our lives. That's my prayer here on the 9th of July 2018, is that my son and my wife can thrive in a loving home that's free from control, and not from limits, but free from control. Or not free from boundaries, but free from control. Y'all know what I mean, or I hope you do. And so that's just really my heart's cry now, and to keep in touch with friends and family here in Huntsville, because it'll probably be 4 or 5 years before we're back in Huntsville, if we're back at all. So yeah, and what you see below down there, that's the Town Madison development down there, and they're going to be putting in the, I can't zoom in too much, I don't think. Let me try. Wow, this is a really nice phone. This is a new phone of mine. But you can see what they're doing down there. Had the dozers and the rock blasters going for months down that way. So I know there's going to be a big residential development. There's going to be a Margaritaville. There's going to be a baseball stadium. All that is going to be more over here to the left. I don't want to pan too fast. Don't want you to lose your lunch there because of my terrible panning skills. Okay, so right over there is going to be the baseball stadium. Right there in the center of your screen, I think. That little opening right through there. And then further to the left, that's probably going to be part of the ballpark as well, and then the Margaritaville place. So that's pretty cool. And beyond that, obviously you can see the Huntsville backdrop. Montesano Mountain further back in there. Good old Drake Mountain, Wade Mountain. Yeah, so that's just kind of the condition of things here now. This obviously will not be this docile here in a year. So Yeah, that's my story as of today. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.